If you want to be as strong as him or him,
Watch this video.
first of all, posture. Posture is very important for arm wrestling. What you want to do is the hand you're arm wrestling with, you want to put that leg in the front. So if we're doing right hand, then our right leg is going to be the front and the left leg is going to be to the back. Next thing is that I want to be square to the table at all times to avoid injuries like an arm break. To avoid this, where he's not square to the table and then any pressure will break his arm, then you want to be square at all times. To start arm wrestling, there's three things you want to know. One is cupping, where you're actively bending your wrist. Two is pronation, where you're going through your opponent's fingers, and which opposes cupping. Three is back pressure. It's like you're punching your face, where you're gonna pull your opponent off the pad. In this video, we'll show the safest way to arm wrestle, and it's top rolling. And it basically has three parts. There's rise, cup, and roll. Starting with the rise, when we first start, we don't want our hands to be as dumped down towards the wrist of the opponent. We want it to be as high as possible. So we're gonna bend our wrist up as close as the opponent's knuckle as possible. So instead of having our hands very low, if you look at my opponent's hand, his is perpendicular to mine because I'm very low on his hand and he's very high. And once we start with the rise, what you want to do is you want to have a cup. Now, the bad thing about having an excessive cup is that you go into a hook, which we'll talk about later. So you only want a slight cup to avoid bending your wrist back because you are very weak if your wrist bends back. And then the next step is where we roll, which is technically pronation. I'm gonna get them in this position, and then there's no way your opponent is gonna pull from here. So with the rise, we cup, and then we roll, which is pronation. To avoid arm breaks, we do not want to go side to side. What you want to do is always want to pull back. Because anywhere on the table, if my opponent falls below this plane where these pin pads are, then I win. There's one more important thing that we did not mention, and it's back pressure. When I rise, cup, and roll, all I'm attacking is the hand. So I'm putting my opponent in this position. If my opponent is very strong, then even if he loses his hand, he still has his arm and he can still pin me. To make him fight for his arm as well, then what I should do is apply back pressure. The full process is gonna be like apply back pressure at all times on the table, and then rise, cup, and then roll. And in that way, I'm making him fight for both his hand and his arm. I wanna do this. What I wanna do is
I beat Jack left-handed.
That side. The camera can't tell.
once we have rise, cup, and pronation, I don't want to stay static. I want to be dynamic on the table. We're pulling right arm, start at the rightmost corner of the pad over here. And then as long as my hand is moving, my elbow is moving as well. If I'm here and I want to pin this weak link, for example, what I want to do is I want to move this way.